Hey everybody, and welcome to the next round of the Fukaru Sport GT. If you can believe this, we have 2 races left to go with this race. This one being the Ferte gaucher, and this is a created race that the par time tonight is 2:12. We had a really tough time. Anytime you have these long races, that's very difficult to really dial everybody in. So it's one of those things, if we do our best to get it done, but we ended up running really late tonight. I don't know how that's going to play into the racers and their ability to run. So hold on one second, we got technical difficulties. So we had a controller that just went down, and since we're in our parade lap, we decided to go ahead and give him the opportunity to dial it back in. So point standings as we go is Team Chris with 643, Shaney and DeathPercepshun neck and neck. Shaney with 580 and Death with 483. I don't know how that's going to work with Death tonight. Death's not having a good night, and it hasn't finished even a qualifying race, and did really slow on his time. So I don't know what he's doing, but hopefully hopefully he pulls it back together when the race starts. Next is Sneaki with 431, Rhymes with 422. Those guys are still competitive. And the other thing will be SAS Montana, who had big problems in qualifying. Everybody did really well at qualifying. We had 212s all across the board, but then all of a sudden, right as we started the last qualifying lap, some people had some issues. So I don't know what is going to be the deal with that. It's a long race in general. 2 minutes and 20 seconds per lap is, when it comes to the way we normally race races, that's pretty long race. There's actually only 7 laps for this race tonight because we want to keep it within that, kind of borderline of everybody tells us this is how long we should do videos for. So this is how long we do videos. And that's the thing is we want to make sure that, it's something that you guys want to watch or have time to watch. If you want these videos longer, let me know. I'm okay with making longer races. These guys, I'm sure, are 100% into making longer races. But it makes it very difficult when it's, like laps like this and things get drawn out more. By the time you get to about most of these 1-minute races, by the time you're out to like the 15th or 16th lap, you pretty much know who's going to win the race. But sometimes some people just chase them down. You never know. And that's the thing is it's unlike in real racing, because there's so many like easy rules when it comes to real racing. You say, hey, what do I do if somebody crashes? Well, you just keep going. And then there's a lot of rules that are kind of applied to, I guess you could say, with real life versus online gaming. So in other words, if somebody crashes somebody in line, it's like you want to wait for them. And the other thing is things happen. So there's a lot of things that I kind of don't want to go against when it comes to etiquette online. Like, I don't want to look at players and say, hey, by the way, I know you used to stop and let somebody by after you crash, but you're in a real race and stuff happens. So we are go, and I didn't even see it. But yeah, like you said, there's etiquette things that we run into in races. I don't want to change them, but I also don't want to, I want to get it. The point of this is to be more realistic. The point of this down the road is to have an official tournament where people run together and it's a real competition. Like, it's something that we go on big games things. And that's the thing is this is not something that usually acclimates itself to those kind of competitive races. So how does that work out? How does that competition translate? And that's the thing is it's easy when you have to set up like this. It makes it very easy to make very competitive races, very competitive setups. Yeah, we have guys that are going to race away. Team Chris is always a good leader when it comes to this stuff, but when it comes to this kind of challenge, Team Chris doesn't always do very well. So that's the thing is it's very hard for me to say, this is the way I want it. Shaney getting into Chewy. I want to get these events dialed in. I want to get them to the right points, right times, everything about it. We've dialed in the point system again. We're going to have people with designated cars for the AWC race that's coming up. super excited about that. Like, I don't know how that stuff's going to happen or how it's going to go down, but it's going to be interesting. People are going to have to select and tune vehicles in a kind of series that's very difficult to select and tune races in. So we're going to see how that works out. And that's the thing, is I'm really excited about it to see how it works. That's the other rule here. People cannot leave the track. There's basically no curb boosting. And that's the thing is they're in their race. So let's see how this works. Remember 212. Where you with first lap there, you really don't want to look at where they are when it comes to par. Something happened. Trying to figure out what happened. There was some kind of big accident. Here comes Funky or Expert up. Okay, so he was at the back of the pack. So let's see where we got here. 2 14s. Weird. Okay. Let's see who we got. Where did Funky land? He got a 215. 214 was. And 212 was the car. So they're still way under that for the first lap. Funkier is 1, 2, 3, 5th place there. And that's with these big races like this, it's easy to see how things get really spread out really quick, and they're fast. Those rhythms that you get when you're racing. Oh. Now if I can just get the vision of the camera to catch up. So here's Funky rolling up. I don't think that anybody's running that fast is probably not going to be a part-time car. So we'll see how that works out. So we got Team Chris and Rhymes up here. Rhymes has made a big run back. Shaney in second place right now, brought herself back. That's the thing is I really feel bad about Death, because Death was running hard into these races. He really had such a competitive run, and then I can hear him talking, so I know he's there, but I wasn't sure what was going on, and he didn't end up finishing a lot of with these long races. It's very difficult. People are slowing down here, so that means that some people. So there's your 212 from Team Chris. 210 from Funky or Expert. So that is basically DQ for Funky. Therein lies the problem with these new tracks, and you know. So we have to update these guys, because I want to make sure that we get people that are running at their par equivalent. If they ran 212 in whatever, then they run the event and it's like their times are way off. That's called sandbagging, and we have to DQ people. So I hate to say it, but that's where Funky is going to go for today. Is going to be in the DQ pile, and I mean that right there alone is a 6-point deduction. So even if he comes in third place, or even if he came in first place, it'd still be like a 4th place finisher. That's the other thing is with the new point systems we're putting out, the points are going to be linear from first to last. So if we have 9 players and you get 7 deducted points from you, you're not winning the race. And that's the other thing is it was very difficult to kind of figure out a way that would say somebody is guaranteed to win at a certain timing. So if, let's say if you're 2 seconds faster, people don't realize that 2 seconds in these races is gigantic. Like that is massive amounts of time that you're killing off of a lap with everybody else. So if you run a 210 and everybody else runs a 212, at the end of the race, if you did 7 laps, think about that. That's 2 seconds every lap. So, you know what I mean? That's almost, you're already lapping people. So if you're lapping people at that race, it's not a competitive race. It's not a competitive car. We don't want it in the race. And that's the thing is that's why we go against the curb boosting stuff and other things like that. It just doesn't go to the nature of proven racing. In other words, those views that we have. And that's the thing is we want those races to be like I say, competitive down the road. We want events that people want to watch and see as somebody saying, you know, oh, well, this guy's faster than this guy. They have the same competitive car modes. You know, how are they going to run against each other? How is that going to look when it comes to real racing? If you guys, every time I rerun real races, we see somebody that's constantly like just first place. Like, yeah, 5 seconds, 6 seconds faster because they can either curb boost or do something. It's not a kind of competition, and nobody looks at it that way. And that's, I see, is some of the problems that we have with some of our games out there is because we have those kind of cheats and glitches and things like that that really do put people into, you know, these areas where one person can have a lot of dominance and be dominant in a way that's not readily available to the public. And that's the thing is I can't push that enough. Do you know what I mean? So right now, don't even look at the first place because Funkier is out. Team Chris is going to be in the lead position right there. She'll be getting the 15 points for the win today if she brings it home, which that's the thing is right now she is currently in the lead with 643 points. So that's the thing is you got a race to run right there. So let's look at where we at. 212, 211s. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. Shaney, Rhymes, Pancake. All those guys have done 1 second over. That'll be their points deduction for the race. It won't DQ them because they're still tight close to the top there with what the actual part time is. Second over is no big deal, but it's putting them in a position they won't be able to get any bonus points from any of the wins they got. Like I said, that'll play a big role in the new point system. It will not play much of a role when it comes to this one. It was so funny to think about how we had such a different mindset in past games where the point was to say, well, part-time is a generalized rule, and then we'd have races and people would be 2 seconds faster, and our first champion was somebody that ran every race, would sandbag at every competition, end up being in last place, and because their car was 2 seconds faster in the actual race, they won every race. And that's the thing is we learned pretty quickly. Ooh, very loose. We learned early on that it's not something that we want to have in our events. We want to have a very good competition. We want everything to be superbly fair, and that's the thing is that is definitely within a second. If they get that second switchback on every race, you end up with a competition like this where we got these three guys right here. These are three guys right here that I know try to run par every race and try to get a dialed in car and try to look for that championship run, and this is what they end up every race. We get the 3-pack together, or we get 3 or 4, and there's Rhymes with Team Chris up there. And that's, you want to set up your car to be the way, do the lap time you want it to do every lap. Now, does that mean you're always on par? No, not always, because sometimes you just get better and better at track. This kind of track right here is a perfect example of where people are running a certain way on the track, and then you just run hard. You run hard with each other and you push yourself. But that thing is look at it, right together with each other. And that thing is if we're ever going to move this to the next level, it's got to be like this every race. We can't make exceptions. And there's a couple of races out there that have decided that they're going to, break out of the rule pack and just say we're gonna be over here. Poor Andrew, man. We're gonna go back to Andrew. Andrew is one of my favorite guys in here. I love watching him race. He's having a bad day today. And that's the thing is what, like I said, with these long races, it's such a different run than what we're used to. LG Retro here. Nice car. Looks beautiful. Really does match that kind of racing mindset. that we love here. The 23 Mine Mock. Look at that. But yeah, he's just got some distance on. I had the same problem when we were doing the Spectre Custom. Well, and that reminds me, let's see, SAS should be running that car. Yep, so he's running the same car that I was during practice, and there he is catching up with Sneaky. Let's go back to Shaney here. People are calling out passes right now. Looks like Shaney was not able to wear that. He's got the 3-pack there. And let's see what we got on the board. 210, 211. Rhymes has dropped over. 212. Team Chris keeping it under par. That's the thing is we had one race where she didn't do it, and she regretted it. Now she's staying there because she wants that win. So 212 211 SAS, 212 Sneaky, 212 Andrew. So that's how it's looking. It's good racing. It's just a long race. Like you said, look at the distance that some of these guys have between each other, running 0.5 seconds faster than the other person. But we have a big race here. Team Chris falling back because Rhymes is taking that top position away. But we got Pancakes and Shaney still running at each other. Pancakes wants this. He's been a champion in the past. I think he's first row. Push him out of the way. So that was a perfect example of what I was talking about, that etiquette. He crashed him. He took blame for it, and then he moved back and let him in. And that's the thing is that's going to put him way back. And people don't realize that those maneuvers, if mistakes happen. And that's the thing is it's just, it's so crazy to think that, when you have a good group, I know you guys will listen to that and say, we have a bad group, so everybody stops and lets somebody through. It's like, when you have a good group, you don't need those etiquette rules. You don't need some of that stuff that there's. And this thing is we removed a lot of them. So this is our 4-pack right here. These are the guys that you're going to be looking at. Shaney needs to move up there and take Team Chris and just move it in. Like, he's like moving in on Rhymes. Like, he cannot come into the last race like this and expect to be able to take Team Chris. And she's just pouring on the power right now. And there he goes, moving into that position. Tape is going to throw down the power. Pancakes. That same turn that's got him all day in practice just drove him into the wall again. It's got to be very frustrating to just be, I'm running this good lap. I'm running time. There's Rhymes taking back over Shaney again to finally hit that last lap and just not have it in you. Team has moved a big old chunk of landscape between her and Rhymes, and Pancake is not in sight. Solid run from everybody though today. I mean, they got to be proud of it, even with some of the par rules. We're gonna keep trying to find better races. If you guys got races, send them our way. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any races. Like I said, we always race on Wednesdays, but we post the videos up on Sundays, so don't miss them. We actually have car shows too that we're adding to the schedule. I don't know if we'll be streaming those or what. I'd like to, but it really is based on you guys' interest and what you guys let me know about. So there it is, 1, 2, and 3. Trying to end the race there without going over par. I think it's funny because you get to the end and then it's so I can already hear some people hearing their times and not being happy about it. And there's a good reason behind that, because that 212 by Team Chris was a good run. 211 by everybody else. 212s across the board. It's all within 1 second. Good competition from everybody. Funkier was actually disqualified. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great race. Tune us in for the last race of the season next week. It's going to be amazing. And then we're going to move on to something else. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.